How much time do you spend on social media just scrolling through TikTok or Instagram or just watching YouTube video after YouTube? I know personally I spend a lot, right? And that's either creating content, engaging with my audience, or just looking at what other real estate agents are putting out there. And a lot of times, it's a lot of bullshit. A lot of agents are in this market as a hobby, as a side hustle, and what you're getting from that is people who don't take this as a professional career, and you're in turn getting just bad information. And so when I see an article come out that sparks my interest, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take a look and just kind of give my thoughts on this. So here in Denver, there is this local publication called 5280, and they recently did an article where they asked two local real estate agents, Stuart, Crowell, and Delroy, Gill from Live Sotheby's, to look into their crystal ball, rub it in a lamp, and make their predictions on the rest of the 2022 real estate market. Now, I've never met these gentlemen. I don't know who they are. I looked at their pictures. They seem like they got their shit together, but I don't know. So I'm gonna take a look. I'm gonna tell you if I agree with it or disagree with it and why. All right, so let's get into their first prediction. They say that interest rates yo-yo, but the waiting game isn't the best strategy. Chances are rates will keep increasing into the new year, and that home prices will stabilize, inventory will rise, and that by 2023, we see the rates reversing probably by summertime. I agree with this first prediction, and here's why. There's gonna be a lot of volatility in the interest rate market. You're gonna see them go up, come down, go back up, come back down, and the reality is we just don't know where they're going right now. There's too many things going on in the economy to really predict that. Now, a lot of economists and Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have predicted that by the end of Q1 and the beginning of Q2 of 2023, you should see interest rates start to come back down. But in the short term, with higher interest rates, you're gonna see inventory increase as well because less buyers are going to be buying homes. Whether that's because of fear, affordability, a combination of the two. But when interest rates start to come back down, that will rejuvenate the real estate market. When that happens, we don't know. But that will rejuvenate the real estate market. I think you'll see a lot of pent up demand because people will take the opportunity to be like, oh, we gotta capitalize this in case they do go back up. So I agree with this first prediction wholeheartedly. All right, their second prediction is quality will be king. More inventory means less urgency on the buyer's part. Could not agree more. You're gonna see inventory start to go up. We're already starting to see it to go up, but I mean, it's not drastic enough for it to be a buyer's market. We're still in a very much a seller's market, but even if it goes up by 0.9 months, which we were in for a very long time, which is really, really historic lows, all the way up to 2 months, you're still in a really heavy seller's market. But what's gonna happen is that's more inventory than we've seen for a while. And now buyers, knowing that they don't have to make a decision the very first time they go out to see a home. They don't have to go on a first date and then get married. They have time to just sit and figure out if that's the right home for them. You're gonna see homes sitting on the market a lot longer. And if the quality is not there, homeowners are less likely to start to buy a home because they can just wait for more homes to come on the market. The prediction goes on to say that builders, fix and flippers will need to have a better product than what they do today to demand that high level of price. And that you're going to need to boost your curb appeal and do paint and trim work again, or maybe fix up the bathroom that's been bugging you for years. So I agree with this prediction wholeheartedly. I think builders and fix and flippers, like you can't just put lipstick on a pig and put the home on the market and expect to net multiple offers, $50,000, $100,000 above list price. I think those days are coming to a close because buyers have options and they have to see the value in the home. For sellers, you're gonna have a lot more competition out there. Right? If you go to the traditional market, if your home is not the best, if it's not dressed to the nines and your neighbor's is, they're most likely, home buyers are gonna be attracted to that instead of yours. So taking the time to really get that curb appeal on point, merchandise your home so that first weekend you're making a great first impression is critical. Like you wouldn't go on a first date in sweatpants and a shirt with stains on it, would you? I mean, maybe you would, but you probably wouldn't have a second date. You only get one chance at a first impression. So we have to make sure that counts. So I agree wholeheartedly. Make sure that quality is high so that when you hit the market, you stand out from your competition. All right, the third prediction is that size will matter less. And as somebody who is 5'6", I've heard this my entire life, so this one kind of hit right here. But we're gonna talk about the housing market, not my general stature. But the reality is home buyers are less excited about a 6,000 square foot home that is just not functional at all. My wife and I walked into a home the other day and we walked in and a third of the main floor print was completely useless. Like we would never use that space. And while we love the neighborhood and we love the backyard, that non-functional space is a big deterrent for us. I think what a bigger focus is going to be is a home that is very functional, a home that allows you to work at home and to entertain at home. It's multifunctional and there's not a lot of dead space. So what you're gonna see is Buyers are looking for a home that's really nicely well done, functional, and can accommodate their lifestyle, but it's not just going to be so massive for buying additional square footage that you're never going to use. Function is more important now than ever, and the ability to make a home functional, whether that's through a remodel or just reconfiguring a couple different rooms, I think is really important. So just realize that size is going to take a backseat and functionality is going to come front and center stage. And this prediction, could not agree more on this one. All right, and the last prediction that they made is that homes need to have more of a warm feel. For a long time, when you walked into these new builds, they were very sterile, all white, black railings, very modern. And I love modern architecture, but sometimes you would walk in, you're like, oh, this feels more like an office space or a prison than it does a home. And so when you're out looking at homes, I think it's really important that we see what's going on real time and see how things are starting to shift. So when you walk into new builds now, there is a lot of warmness when you walk into a home. It's not just that modern architecture, and you're seeing elements of that sprinkled in. So if you're gonna go list your home today, it's really important that you have your agent bring in a stager, maybe even a designer, so that you can make adjustments to your home to appeal to the masses, because that's gonna be a great way to stand out. So for this prediction, I agree as well. And as somebody who loves modern homes, especially the home that I'm in right now shooting this video, my wife started to sprinkle in some little magic, some little traditional stuff. It made it feel really warm, and it made it a spot that I wanted to hang out in. So listen, any agent who guarantees anything is completely full of shit. We are doing our best to make educated recommendations based on the data that we see, which is why it's so important to have an agent who has their pulse on the market, to work with an agent who defines their experience, not by the number of years in the industry, but by the number of homes they've sold in the last 12 months. That is a more important metric than how long you've been doing this. So while these are just predictions, just realize we do our best to make an educated decision to provide valuable information to you. And any agent who says that they guarantee anything in the real estate market is full of shit. This is all just speculation. This is all an educated guess based on what we're seeing. Big shout out to 5280 for finding some agents who just get it. These predictions are spot on. And I want to take this as an opportunity to just encourage home sellers and home buyers that when you go to interview an agent, just remember this. It's not about the total years of experience in the industry. It's about the agent who has done probably the most transactions in the last 12 to 24 months, along with their reviews. Make sure that you look into that, because this market is extremely dynamic and it changes quite drastically from month to month, quarter to quarter. So having somebody who is in the trenches, who is a full-time agent, in the shit, figuring it out, having their pulse on the market is going to be the most impactful thing that you can do. So take the time and hire the right agent. Hope this was helpful. Until next time, I'll see y'all soon.